So here we are, it's day 3 of E3, and what a week it's been so far. If you've seen any of my videos discussing the show and what most of the bigger companies have done so far, you know that I'm actually really happy with pretty much everything that's been happening this week. It's been an awesome show. 2016 E3 has been fantastic. Now, that being said, we all know one of the biggest things to come out of the show this year and what we were waiting for is the reveal of the brand new Zelda, which we got, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's fantastic. It's taking E3 in the gaming world by storm, which is so wonderful. It's already winning a lot of Game of the Year. E3 Game of Show awards, I should say, including from IGN, apparently. So it's doing awesome. The game looks absolutely spectacular. We are killing ourselves waiting for this game. We have 9 or 10 months to go right now, assuming that it actually sticks to its purported March release date. However, we've recently had some comments and some quotes from the producer and director Eiji Aonuma. Most Zelda fans know him. He's been working on Zelda since, I think, Wind Waker or maybe even Majora's Mask before it. Long time. He said some stuff about the Wii U version that I don't necessarily think that I love. So the long and the short of what he said in his recent quotes are basically him saying that the Wii U version of the game unfortunately won't really be using the Gamepad, which is really shocking, very surprising for many reasons. Here's a couple of quick quotes that he has given the press. This came from a VG Charts article that, if I can remember, I'm going to link it below for you as well if you want to read it. But he has 3 quick quotes that he says. He says, "We realize that having something on the gamepad and looking back and forth between the TV screen and the gamepad actually disrupts the gameplay and the concentration that the game player may be experiencing." He then goes on to say, "You have your car's GPS system on your dash. If you had it down in your lap, you're going to get into an accident." Okay, I mean, I guess that's definitely true to a degree. And then the last thing he says, and speaking more about the Wii U version, the fact that it's got a gamepad, and then also trying to compare it to the NX version, he then says, "I'm not going to create something where users are going to have a different experience," meaning having a gamepad maybe only on the Wii U version and then having the NX version have to be so completely different as to not have a gamepad or some kind of second screen experience. So those are his quotes. Obviously, he's saying, you know, we're not really using the gamepad for this Wii U Zelda. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, that really disappoints me. And it's interesting, there's a lot of angles to come at this from, because the NX version was the version I wanted to think I was going to play and want to play, because it's the one for the next generation system. It's probably going to look better than the already beautiful Wii U version. But of course, a lot of that decision was still predicated on how the gamepad is incorporated into the game. And if you know me, you've heard me say how much I love the gamepad. I love games that use it well, like Zombie U, like the Wind Waker HD, a Zelda game that uses it fantastically. Twilight Princess uses it okay. That's one of my few complaints about the HD version. But it still works for that game. Rayman Legends, it's amazing. Zombie U, or I already said Zombie U, I'm sorry. Wonderful 101, it's another game that uses it very well, and a plethora of others. Pikmin 3, so fantastic. Deus Ex Human Revolution. There's so many games. I could probably keep going if I had my stack of games to just start reading to you from. So I love the gamepad. Xenoblade Chronicles X, another huge one that relates to this whole kind of problem, I think, with the Zelda game. I think the gamepad is wonderful, and especially for a huge game that's a wide open world with gigantic maps and probably, you know, huge inventories as we've seen, and unique control schemes. And it just is very surprising to me that they're not incorporating it into the Zelda game. Another fact is, if you look back to the one time they showed us gameplay beforehand, which was the Video Game Awards show at the end of 2014, I believe. Was that 2015? It was 2014. And that was when, you know, Miyamoto and Aonuma were playing the game off screen, and they showed us some of the gamepad being used, and they were using the map. And it's like, well, obviously they're going to use the gamepad for the Zelda in a lot of ways that we would have expected already based on previous uses of the gamepad and based on what they showed us at the Game Awards show. So there was no reason to think that the Wii U version of this game wouldn't have the gamepad functionality. And I think it should have the gamepad functionality. A game like The Wind Waker, another Zelda game, a game like Xenoblade Chronicles X, a huge open world, expansive, giant map RPG, use it to great effect. And it's not, he makes that quote about using your GPS in your car, and if you look down, you're going to have an accident. And it's like, okay, like in the real world when you're driving, yes, that's true. But for video games, it's not quite, for a slow-paced video game, I should say, it's not quite that disruptive of an experience to do so, as evidenced by games that Nintendo you have already made that does this perfectly. The Zelda HD games and Xenoblade Chronicles X. And again, look at Zombie U and Deus Ex, games that require you to use a map so frequently in real time. Watch Dogs on the Wii U, a game I own and like, and that real-time map is incredibly helpful and is not disruptive at all to that gameplay. Now, if we were talking about an F-Zero game coming to the Wii U, yeah, you're not going to play an F-Zero game where you're going 10,000 miles an hour and you need to look down at the map on your screen. Even Mario Kart, a game that's much slower, still shows you it's really hard to look at the map on your gamepad screen while you're playing that game, because that's a game about speed. A game like Zelda, where you move at your own pace in this huge open world, and there's so many moments of solitude where you're just running by yourself in a field or a dungeon, it's not going to hurt the experience to have a map on your screen. In fact, it literally aids in the experience. I've talked about this a couple of times before, both on the podcast and on videos for the channel here. I think that what the Wii U has done in its short 4 years of life with games like the ones I've mentioned that use a real-time map on the gamepad, to me, that has become the next generation of open-world gameplay, because having that map on your screen and not having to pause it and cycle through a menu to look at your map and find out where you are has completely changed the game for me. I play on my Xbox and PlayStation all the time, you know that, but when I play games like this on those systems and I have to pause, stop the game completely, go into a menu, navigate through it, scroll around with my trigger buttons and my analog sticks to figure out what the hell's going on, it literally feels like a step backward now because of what the Wii U and the Gamepad have done. It's one of the few things the Gamepad and the Wii U as a system has done actually very, very right this generation. It seems like such a small thing, but it's actually a huge advantage to gaming, especially this kind of game, which is common across the entire breadth of the gaming industry and the gaming landscape. So, and the whole point of this whole thing is to say, this is why I think it makes sense for a game like Zelda, and I'm shocked that they're removing it, and I'm very disappointed. I think that there's a lot of things that they could be doing, unique weapons and items that use the gamepad in certain ways. Now, on the Treehouse live streams of the game, there was a lot of using the gyro sensing and the motion control of the gamepad to move like the magnet item and stuff around. So it's like, okay, they're doing that, and I think that that's pretty cool, because Nintendo has shown that they can use the gyro aiming and gyro movement of certain things on the gamepad and on the 3DS really, really well. And that is a lot of fun, and I enjoy that. You know, games like Splatoon and Star Fox show that as well. The gamepad aiming on the two Zelda HD games also works very, very well, and that's really great. So I'm glad that to a degree the motion control is still being used by the gamepad, it seems, for the Wii U version. But if they're really doing nothing on the gamepad screen, no real-time map, no inventory, it seems like a step backwards, man, and it really, really disappoints me. And the reason I think they're doing this, you guys, is kind of relating to his other quote in this article and other quotes that they've had this week about the NX version of Zelda, saying that it's supposed to be the exact same kind of experience as the Wii U version. So I think that what we're looking at here is, in trying not to oversell the Wii U version or put too much effort into the Wii U version, they want to sell the NX version. And if the NX is not going to have some kind of touchscreen or second screen experience controller, and if the gamepad is not going to be backwards compatible to the NX, which all this information is telling me, then that means that the NX version is going to have a regular controller where you have to do your pausing to look at your maps and all these kinds of things. And then all of a sudden, the Wii U version would actually look like the better version because of the gamepad. And this is completely speculation on my part, but I wonder if Nintendo is worried about making the last gen version of Zelda the one that's more appealing to people, and then they're not able to really sell the Zelda experience for the NX and be able to, you know, use Zelda to help sell more units of the NX, and then the NX sells more copies of Zelda on that system, and then the whole thing just kind of works as a big marketing push for Zelda and the NX together to sell more of that stuff, which is very smart, and I agree with that business decision. But now my worry here is that they're gonna gimp this Wii U version, which I think it deserves to have. It's there to have the Nintendo's, you know, their biggest effort put into it. I think that this version is the one we've been promised for so long and we've seen for so long. And even if it's the version I would end up not buying, I still think it deserves to have this effort put into it. And I think that the gamepad should be utilized for this game. And so, long story, not so short at all, I'm disappointed by this news, you guys. I really, really am. Otherwise, of course, Zelda looks spectacular, and I'm freaking dying to play this game, and I think it's going to be great even without the gamepad for sure. But why they would do this, I don't know. I really think it's that they don't want to put too much extra effort into what's going to become the last gen version. And I think that they don't want the last gen version to, by dint of control, be the better version. And then people are talking about how much it makes more sense to just play the Wii U version. Because if that happens, then Wii U owners are going to say, well, I'll just, instead of, spending $400 or $500 on an NX and an NX copy of Zelda, I'll save my money and just spend the $60 on the Wii U version of Zelda. I really think that that's part of what's playing into it here. And it's really sad. I mean, Nintendo's a business, and I understand what they might be trying to do in using Zelda and the NX to help sell each other and make it a more successful launch, and I want that to happen, but I hate the idea that they might sacrifice some of what should make this Wii U version so great with the Gamepad, and because it's like, otherwise, up until now, Nintendo has shown that they're overly confident in the Gamepad. I mean, why didn't they give you an option to not use the Gamepad in a game like Star Fox Zero that came out 2 months ago? You would think that if they have this thinking for a game like Zelda that could actually use it even more than Star Fox, then that they would have done this. I mean, this to me really, really smells like a situation where they're just worried about making the Wii U version better. Because why would so many other games that Nintendo has made not have used the Gamepad? I mean, it just seems like it took them way too long to, like, the very ass end of the Wii U's life and the very last game they're going to release for the Wii U to finally say, well, the Gamepad's kind of a distraction. They never would have said the Gamepad is a distraction, quote unquote, a year ago. They wanted everyone and their mom to believe in the Gamepad because that's how they were trying to sell people the Wii U, which, again, I think that they should have been doing that because I love the Gamepad. I'm not slamming it. This whole thing just seems really weird, and I think it's a boneheaded backwards mistake by Nintendo. Don't mince my words, you guys, because, again, I still believe in Zelda 100%. I think the Wii U version is going to be great. I think the NX version is going to be great. I hope the NX version just looks absolutely stunning. I really want some next-gen visuals coming out of that one now. But I have to admit, and I have to kind of sort of call out Nintendo, if you want to call it that, and say, you guys, I don't think you're doing the right thing here. I think that this is not very smart. And it saddens me. I really wanted the Gamepad functionality to be awesome for the Zelda, for the Wii U, and hope that it somehow was going to translate to the NX version as well. But it all seems like that's not going to be the case. So what do you guys think about this? What do you think about this news, about the Wii U version of Zelda? What do you think about Ainuma's quotes? And what do you think about my theories about why this may or may not be happening? Pretty interesting stuff, I think, but at the end of the day, let's not forget, it's exciting to have a new Zelda. Breath of the Wild looks absolutely spectacular, regardless of the Gamepad. So I think it's most important that we still remain very excited for the game, as am I. But I do want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about all this stuff? Tell me what you think below. Hopefully E3 has been as awesome for you as it has been for me, you guys. Later today, I'm going to be uploading my video kind of grading all of the conferences and talking about the show as a whole, so look forward to that. But for now, talk about Zelda and the Gamepad. Thanks as always for tuning in, guys. This is Robert Rule to Review, and I'll catch you guys next time on another video.